willing to be uncomfortable.
Blah, y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Cha-ching! And by the way, guys, I just published a book called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about my mom, an audacious mom who opens her heart and home to 5 adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture, while being Jewish. And today we have a very, very special guest. He is a world champion for powerslap, the one and only Damien. Woo!
What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? I'm so happy you're here, man. It's an honor, brother. You don't understand, man. I had to call your secretary, your press. I was on the phone on hold for a minute. She's like, "Yeah, please hold." So I got kind of sad.
We gotta set up the boundaries, man. You gotta set up the boundaries.
Yeah.
You don't keep crazy people out. But I appreciate you having me on here, man.
I got you, man. I was sweating, brother. I was waiting for that dial, and then I got through it. I was okay. You know what I'm saying? I felt better. But look, brother, I wanted to share a little something, and I feel like, a lot of people could relate. I remember one time, this was like last year, in Halloween. And I went out knowing that I had to work the next day. But I was like, you know what? I love Halloween. It's my favorite day. So I went out that day and I was getting turned up. I'm not gonna lie. I was dancing and I was like, hey, how you doing, girl? What's up?
Yeah, having a good ass time.
Yeah, I needed it. I had to let go of the stress. And crazy thing is, I had to go to work like in 5 hours, okay? It was already like 2, maybe 3 in the morning. And I was like, yo, I'm calling all these Ubers and Lyft and I can't get a ride back home. It's like they keep canceling every 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, yo, this is messed up. I can't, there's no way I could walk home. That's like about 3 or 4 hours. There's no way. I said, man, I got to get a ride. And I'm waiting and waiting. Brother, no lie, 2 hours go by. I'm still waiting because all the rides getting canceled. And I was like nervous. I was like, yo, I got to go to work. I got to open up the shop. So I finally see a taxi and he goes, are you Brandon or Frank? I'm like, nah, I'm David. Oh. He goes, I'm like, look, but I need a ride, bro. If you could do this, it'll mean so much. I was like, look, I got cash. He said, okay, we're going to ride. I'm telling him like I'm stressed the whole ride.
Yeah.
And he's listening to, my story. And he's like, man, it sounds like the night. Like, I can't believe you've been waiting that long. And it was cold outside, I'm not going to lie. When I got to my house, the taxi driver said, don't worry about the bill. I got you.
Okay, that's pretty nice of him. Shit.
I was like, dang, right? I was like, yo, that's it's rare to find people that are genuine. And so when I got home, I actually felt, I was still a little upset, but I was telling God at that moment, like, yo, you have my back because this man could have charged me, right? And I wasn't asking for a free ride. I was just stressed. And I just remember, like, at that moment when I did lose faith, I was like, man, he was still there. So I just wanted to share that story. And what about you, brother? Was there a time where you felt like you lost hope or faith and you got yourself back?
I mean, I've definitely been in a lot of circumstances where I've had to, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and work shit out. Like when I first left, because I'm only 22 years old, so a lot of people think I'm a lot older, but a couple years ago when I first left my parents' house, it was more of a pack your shit up and go. And so I moved in with my girl at the time and you just kind of had to figure shit out. Bills had to get paid. I was driving 3-4 hours to go to work because it's a small town, couldn't find nowhere else to get a job. So I just kept driving to work, 3 or 4 hours coast to coast, just doing what I had to do to, put food on the table. And I got lucky. Company really, really liked what I was doing, and the person I was hired me on like on the spot, gave me a job. I actually did the interview at like 9 a.m., 11 o'clock. We went through the interview, did the onboarding process, and I helped them on a job that same day. And that really like put my life on a better direction because I was getting pretty desperate back then. So, that was a real blessing that, came upon me when I really needed it.
Wow. That's amazing, brother. That's a good story, brother. I'm glad you did it. And to be honest, as good as a young age, you left the house early, which it made you like learn life. You know how the
Oh
real
yeah.
world is. You know.
Yeah. It
You
made you
know me?
makes you think about like how you gotta make shit work for yourself. You can't rely on nobody but yourself to get what you want and get where you want to be.
Right, right. And you just made me think of a question that this is gonna be interesting. You know, you living with a girl, right? I don't know. Are you guys still together? You and your girl?
We're
Oh,
actually married now.
oh, Sam! Congrats, brother! Congrats! No,
Appreciate it, man.
you know, living with somebody, right? It's a very new transition. It's like a lot of people when they're in a relationship and they're just couples, right? They see them like on the weekend or like once a week or twice a week. It's a little different, but the moment you live with them, I'm curious to know what was your experience, living with someone.
I mean, it definitely took some getting used to, adjusting to, having that other person there with you and working around each other's habits. But with me and my wife, now wife, it was really just learning how to love each other in that kind of way where we don't step on each other's toes, figuring out like all the way down to like what side of the bed do you sleep on, that common shit. Like it was just getting used to and falling more in love with each other at going through that process.
Oof, I love it, brother. That's deep. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, a little deep on here.
Yeah, yeah, I got a little chills. I got the chills, man. They're multiplying. But brother, like, that's amazing, man. That's cool. Cause I honestly, I'm gonna be real. There was a time I lived with a girl, for a while, and it was nice, man. Like I would say the beginning station, man. I'm not gonna lie. It was like really fun. It felt like the honeymoon stage.
Oh
You
yeah, it
know what I'm
always
saying?
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you feel good in the morning, at nighttime, you already know what happens, and you just feel real good. And then, like, the more and more you start learning about that person, like you said, the habits, what they don't like, what they do like, and you never stop learning about them. Like that's the interesting thing. So I respect that, brother. That was really cool. And I'm really curious to know, right?
Mhm.
Um, what got you into power slap?
Um, it's not even power slap. I started at Sapphire Championships, but my wife was inevitably the one that convinced me to actually go out and do it because I've been watching the videos and you know how guys are like, oh, I could do that. I could go out there and do that. And she was like, I had to go do it then. I was like, you damn right. So she was like, she helped me find the number, find the connections to go do it for the first time, and that kind of started my career in slap fighting.
Whoa, that's amazing, man. Look at that. She's definitely like your backbone. Like she's your
Oh yeah.
support. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing because I feel like your partner can see things that sometimes we can't see. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, man.
So that's really good. And please, if you could take us to the moment when you won your first world championship, right, for power slap, when you were going up that ring, can you take us back to that day, that moment, your feelings? I would love to hear your side of the story.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just going out there. I never even expected to be a pro fighter in any aspect. Like I loved fighting. Don't get me wrong. I was one of them high schoolers that boxed my friends back in just in the backyard in a field somewhere, just anywhere we could, play fight and shit like that. And to like go into slap fighting originally, we were fighting in bars and shit like that. So getting onto that stage to begin with, like giant cameras, this $1 million event, like this is a huge deal, and to be that headline, walking out there about to win the belt, it was just honestly, it was exciting, but in a confusing way because I just didn't know how to really appreciate the opportunity I was, taking a hold of at that moment. And just looking back on it, I feel like I didn't fully understand what I was doing, but I knew how awesome of an opportunity it was.
Whoa, that's dope, man. I, I mean, it's a big deal, man. Like you never know, right? Until you hold that belt. That's like,
Oh yeah, that the appreciation of having it in your hands, and like I worked because like I worked my ass off, like all those days of training, all that effort, every sweat, tear, everything went into this, and to finally have it in your hands and like hold on and add that title to your name, it's an amazing feeling.
oh, brother, that's dope. You have the belt with you? Is it at the crib?
Oh
I was, I was saying,
yeah.
he got the belt. Look at that. It's
That thing never out of eyesight.
Oh man, that's so cool, brother. Oh man, and look, this is really crazy. I know you just went to Abu Dhabi as a coach for the
Mhm.
Power Slap fighters. Tell us about your experience going there for the first time and like, meeting all these people, right? And the culture. Tell us, first about being there and then, going to the event. Like, what was that feeling?
I mean, the going there, I was definitely nervous. I've never actually been outside of the country until that point. So I've never even, like, every step of the way was new to me. Getting the passports ready, like, that was a handy ass process. But, like, going through and get, like, the flights, 13 hours on flying, like, straight, fucking terrible. I'm a big guy, and the seats they give you just aren't enough for me. But actually landing there and experiencing the culture, the food, the people, it was breathtaking. Like I truly have nothing bad to say about that trip, and I really appreciate the opportunity to go out there and do all the things that I got to do. Like I had so much fun on that trip. I don't think I could really replace that trip with anything else. Like I really, really loved the time I had out there. And then the event, like the build up to the event on top of the trip itself, like it's hard to put into words like how big of a deal this was for me, and like how much I love being out there doing what I love to do in this new place and getting to spread the sport into new countries and new areas.
Oh, that's so dope, man.
I'm sorry if I'm going off on like long tangents every time.
No, this is good. Like it's nice to hear it because when I was looking at like the videos, it looked like so beautiful, so clean, the country and like people look really friendly. Like it looked like I wanted to book a trip, but I'm like I can't afford it right now. I
Yeah,
gotta
no,
wait.
it's expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's pricey. It's nice, but it's pricey.
Wow, man. That's still amazing, man. And like, even to coach, right? This was like interesting now to see you like guiding these fighters, right? What to do, like, fix your stance or anything. Like, I think
Oh
this is
yeah.
interesting because now you're on the other side, right? You're not fighting, you're being the coach. What was that transition for you? You know?
Yeah, this is actually like my third or fourth time coaching. So I've actually had some experience coaching. That's why they bring me out to these kinds of events. And every time you learn something new, it's always an opportunity to learn something new and to improve yourself. And then when you give someone that just a small piece of advice or a hint here, or like, hey, squat down a bit lower, or hey, step a little bit back, and you see that work immediately, and that like, oh, you're right. Let me do that real quick and try it out. And then you see them go out there. Like for the West fight, I gave him a bit of advice, and his ability to take that and go perform well with it immediately, like that shit was amazing. Like amazing feeling as a coach for me. Like I felt so much pride for him in that moment. Like he went out there and did that off of my advice.
Wow. And I'm trying to remember. You did you coach Shelly too
I coached
or
our
Paige?
I coached Nate in that fight.
Nate. Okay. So Nate, and then because there's the fight with the girls, right? Shelly and Paige. That was
I coached Paige
Paige.
for
Okay,
the event.
okay. That
Yeah.
one was a crazy fight. I'm not gonna lie because they were really going at it, you know. And I'm not gonna
Oh yeah.
lie, the smacks you can hear it like it was. Pop.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Every time there's a nice crisp smack, like you can just hear the energy in the room. Like it's intense, and that was an amazing fight. Like don't get me wrong, no matter how you cut it, that was an unexpected fight for me because like Paige had the experience, and you know anytime you get a new fighter in here, there's always that possibility of getting penalties or you know just not going their way. Some happens. Like newer fighters always have rough time, especially when it's like straight into the main event. But she really performed well, and Paige put up a great fight. You know, it was a draw at the end of the day. I'd definitely love to see them run it back at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, fam. I was really going for Shelly, man. I'm not gonna lie, and I'll tell you why. Because so this is really cool. I was given the opportunity to be the first person to have her on the podcast before anyone else, before she
Oh
went,
shit!
yeah, on
That's
television. Yeah.
awesome.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta look out for the new Rocky. That's how I look at it. She's the new Rocky. They're giving her an opportunity, and I was like, she's gonna shine. I know she will. And the fact that she has a husband who's also a world champion for bare knuckles, that's a big deal. So she's getting training, you know, always. And she got a who not a better coach than her husband. Come on, brother. That's
Yeah, it's
you
like
know
right
what I'm
there.
saying? You know?
Yeah, like living with your the best coach you can have.
Come on. And they know you, they know your style. So I love that. And I can't wait for the next round when they fight again. I think this is going to be what everyone is waiting for because the suspense, we were like, ooh, like
Yeah,
what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Each round, you're like, oh, who won that one? Like, ooh, she eat it, but how's she gonna return that? And they were eating slaps. They were dishing them right back out. Ah, that was a fun fight to watch.
Yeah, I think I dropped the popcorn when I saw it was getting tense almost at the end. I was oh, dropped the
Yeah,
popcorn. Oh man, brother. But yeah, man, I'm really happy, like I said, for you being here. One of my last questions before we go, what is one advice you would give young people that want to pursue their passion, whether it's power slap, whether it's music? What would you tell them right now?
honestly, I feel like it's been said enough, but not enough people do it. You just have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Like it's going to be uncomfortable to put yourself in those situations where you're learning and growing and making mistakes. You can't be afraid to make those mistakes and progress and learn from them to, to ultimately make yourself better.
Wow.
That's, yeah, that's the little line of advice I usually tell people.
I like that. I like that. I think people are afraid sometimes to get out their comfort zone because that's all they know. And to take that risk, you know, get out of that box, it's a big deal because you don't know what's going to happen, but at least you try. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like you just got to put that foot forward and give it the effort because you'll never know until you give it everything that you have, and then if it still fails, you can at least be proud in the fact that you put in that effort and tried to get to that point.
Right, right. Oof, that's deep, bro. Deep. Ooh.
Keeping it deep today.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Where's my coffee? Where's my coffee? I'm saying.
Start sipping my coffee over
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Well, look, brother. Guys, this is the outlet to reality. The holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the outlet to reality. My Snapchat's take one pass it. And my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And brother, thank you for being here. And where can my fans find you?
Find me, thebellsf, all platforms. Instagram's my most used. And check out my merch store, thebellsmerch.com. It's easy to find.